Welcome, students. Let's continue with the chapter Mitchell the Order by Gavin Maxwell. Page number 106, first line. 2 days later, Mitchell escaped from my bedroom. So slowly he was trying, author was trying to be friendly with the author. And he says that Mitchell escaped from my bedroom, and as I entered it, and I turned to see his tail disappearing around the bend of the corridor that led to the bathroom. So now he was running everywhere in the house, here and there. By the time I got there, he was up on the end of the bathtub and fumbling. Fumbling means trying to do something in a clumsy manner. So he was fumbling, means trying something new, at the coronium taps with his paws. I watched, amazed. In less than a minute, he had turned the tap far enough to produce a trickle of water, and after a moment or two, achieved the full flow. So slowly, what did he do? The otter tried to. He actually learned to, not tried, but with his trying, he learned how to open the tap because he loved water and he knew that if I'll turn this thing round, there will be a flow of water, and that's what he needed. So trickle of water, he started try open the tap, and after the moment or two achieved the full flow, and after that he achieved the full flow of water. He had been lucky to turn the tap the right way. On later occasions, he would sometimes screw it up till tight, still tighter, chittering with irritation and disappointment at the tap's failure to cooperate. So obviously he was an animal. The poor thing did not know that turning it clockwise or anti-clockwise, it would even shut it off. So when sometimes by mistake he used to turn it anti-clockwise, and it used to become very hard for him to open it, and the flow of the water would stop, then he would get very much disappointed and very much irritated that the tap doesn't why doesn't the water come out of the tap. So he used to get very much irritated, angry. Very soon Midge would follow me without a let and come to me when I called his name. So slowly he started getting in the habit, and he knew that this was his name. Just like a dog, when he used to be called, he used to come to him, and he understood. He spent most of the time in play, and mostly they are very energetic animals. They don't sit at a place like a dog. They keep on running here and there. So most of the time it used to play. He spent hours shuffling the rubber ball round the room like the four-footed soccer. So there was a ball and with which he played everywhere throughout the room like a soccer. Soccer means football player using all 4 feet to dribble the ball, and he could also throw it. So he started getting hold of the ball, started throwing the ball also with the powerful flick means just a small kick that we can say, hitting it, flick of the neck to the surprising height and distance. So he started throwing that ball at a good distance also. He learned it. But real play of an otter is when he lies on his back and juggles with small objects between his paws. That is the way the otters behave. They in the water also, when they lie on the back, keep on swimming, floating, and they even eat in that manner. They place the food on their belly, and they are floating on the water, and the head is also outside, and they start eating. That is the way they behave. So he started doing that. He started juggling with small objects between his paws. Marbles were Mitch's favorite toys. We know marbles made up of glass. Toys, that was his favorite because it is round and it keeps on rolling everywhere. So he used to love that. Toys for his pastime. He would lie on his back, rolling two or more of them up and down his weight, fat belly, without ever dropping one on floor. So he was such a good balanced that he used to place that marbles on his belly, then he used to roll them, and then he used to catch them again. and none of the marbles fell from there. So he was perfect in his work. The day passed peacefully at Basra. So all this was happening at Basra. But Basra was not from where the writer belonged. He belonged to Scotland. Actually, that is the author's birthplace. But he had to go to England. So, but I dreaded means dreaded the prospect, means was in great fear of something that would happen in the future. So he knew that here it is very normal, everything is okay, but if I am going to travel to England, there will be lots of problem with this animal that I am carrying, and he wanted to take Midge to England also. The British Airlines to London would not fly animals, and there are certain rules of the aviations and the aircrafts that they a few companies of the aircraft do not allow, few airlines do not allow animals. So I booked a flight to Paris on another airlines, and there are few others those who do book the animals. So he took another flight, and that flight was Paris up till Paris on another airline, and from there to London, and from there he had to book another airline, and then he had to reach to London, that's in England capital. The airlines insisted that Midge should be packed into a box not more than 18 inches square. So now that was the rule of the airlines, that he had to, you cannot just carry him in the hand, you had to pack him in a box, and that was specific measurement was also given, that was 18-inch square box to be carried on the floor at my feet, and you have to keep that box just besides your feet. That was the rule of the airlines, that you can carry him but in a small box, and that also just besides your feet. I had a box made, and an hour before we started, I put Midge into the box. So now it was time to go to England back, because his mail had arrived and he had to go. So now he packed him in the box. So that would become accustomed to, and he packed him an hour before that, so that he may get an habit, he may get accustomed to, means he would not feel afraid in that box, to make him more comfortable. That's why he packed him earlier and left for a hurried meal. And the writer had to go for a meal, so he packed him, and he thought that I will leave him in the box so he will get comfortable, and then I shall leave. When I returned, there was an appalling spectacle. Appalling means shocking scene. What had happened? There was complete silence from the box. The box seemed very silent. Otherwise, Midge was just jumping here and there, but now the box was silent. Why? What had happened? But for the air holes and chinks around the lid, blood had trickled and dried. Means he had made few holes so that he could breathe properly. From those holes in the box, blood had come out, and it had dried also. I whipped off the lock and tore open the lid. So hurriedly, the writer was scared that what had happened, what might have happened to him, because when he saw blood, he thought that things were not normal. It's not a normal thing when you see a blood. So he was also worried. So he hurriedly opened the box, the and Midge, exhausted and blood spattered, whimpered and caught at my leg. And when he opened, he was exhausted, means he was very much tired. He had hurt himself, and as he opened, he just went to the author's leg, and he just got hold of his leg, means he was afraid also. He had torn the lining of the box to shreds when I removed the last of it, so that there was no cutting edge left. So, due to the sharp edges in the box, he had hurt himself, and there was blood. He was bleeding also because of the linings in the box. He had hurt himself. It was just 10 minutes of until the time of the flight, and the airport was 5 miles distance. Now that was also a problem. Now there was no time. The airport was very far, 5 miles, and there were only 10 minutes to reach there. I put the miserable Midge back into the box, holding down the lid with my hand. So he could do nothing. Time was up. So he put him in the box again, holded the box, the lid with his hand, means he covered, he put his hand so that he may not come out. I sat in the back of the car with the box besides me, and the driver tore through the streets of Basra. So he told the driver also, the taxi driver, that please hurry up, I have to reach there very fast. He took the box in his hand like a ricocheting bullet. Means ricocheting bullet means a bullet which changes direction after hitting a surface. So the taxi driver was driving very furiously because he was also in a hurry to make him reach on time. So they were just rushing through the street very fast. He was driving. The aircraft was waiting to take off, and it was almost time. The aircraft was almost on the time to move to take a flight. I was rushed through to it by infuriated, means very angry officials, means the people, those who were waiting there also, they were angry because they had the list that how many passengers are going to arrive, and he was not there. So they were also waiting, and they were very angry because they had to wait for only a single passenger. The entire flight may get delayed due to him. So they were very angry, but yet anyhow he reached there. Luckily the seat booked for me was at the extreme front. So luckily also that was a good sign that in the aircraft the seat that was booked for the author was in the front. So he could place the box there and sit comfortably. I covered the floor around my feet with newspaper. So he laid down newspaper there, rang for the air hostess. And so what did he do? He placed the otter in the box, placed lots of newspapers at his feet, and he called the air hostess and gave her a parcel of fish. So he had brought the food also for the otter. Fish is the favorite food of for the otters because they live in rivers and ponds, so they eat mostly fish. And he gave that parcel of fish to the air hostess to keep in a cool place. So maybe he told the air hostess to keep this food because he was carrying fish, so he wanted to maybe place them in the refrigerator inside. I took her into my confidence. Took her into my confidence means here shared with her experience or secret. So he told all the things that he was carrying an otter and everything to the air hostess because she needed to know, because she was the only person who could help him if any kind of situation was there. So he told the air hostess everything about Midge. After the event of the last half an hour, he also told what had happened half an hour ago, that he had injured himself and everything. So I have retained the most profound admiration for that air hostess. And he says that the air hostess was really a very good lady because she helped him a lot. She was the very queen of her kind, means she was a helping person, a good person who understood the problem of the author and what he was going through during that time. She suggested that I might prefer to have my pet on my knees, and she also told that don't worry, don't place him near your legs, but you do place it on your, you can keep the box on your knees, close to you, very next to you. And I could have kissed her hand in the depth of my gratitude. Now that decision was taken by the air hostess. So the writer was very happy with that. Officially he had to place the box between his feet, but she told that okay, no problem, you can pick up the box and keep next to you so that the animal and you too may feel comfortable. But not knowing otter, I was quite unprepared for what followed. But yet otter, as I told you, is a very mischievous animal. So now he is saying that I was not aware still what was going through Midge's mind and what was going to come up. Midge was out of the box in a flash, and you can just imagine an aircraft if you are flying and there is an animal just like the otter, and that also in an aircraft, and when it runs loose, what kind of situation, because everybody is not very much familiar with that animal. Many of the people do feel afraid of few animals, and otter, first of all you see, you feel afraid, many of the people do not like. So or that naughty otter came out of the box in a flash, means in a second he came out. He disappeared at high speed down the aircraft. Now just imagine an otter running in an aircraft. Now he cannot go outside. So he was in the aircraft and it disappeared, means he was out of his sight. The writer did not know where it went, where it ran away, because otters really do run very quickly. There was squawks. There were squawks and shrieks. Now, obviously, if you are sitting and an otter just runs next to your legs, or you see an otter in an aircraft, it will really be a frightful thing. So there were screams, because lots of other passengers were seated there. So the writer knew that now the problem, it was really a serious problem. So there were shrieks, and a woman stood up on her seat screaming out, "A rat, a rat!" And when they saw the otter in the aircraft, a woman stood up and started shouting, because she did not know that it was an otter. She started shouting, "Rat, rat!" She thought it was a rat in the aircraft. I caught sight of Midge tail disappearing beneath the leg of the portly. Portly means stout, small, white turbaned Indian. And then the otter started running, and he saw the writer was looking for him, and he saw that, and there was also an Indian who was traveling through the same aircraft, white turbaned, a small turbaned man, means maybe Sardar, and digging for it, I missed. And the writer ran quickly, tried to get hold of the otter, but then too he missed. He ran away from there also, but found my face covered in curry. Now maybe that person was eating something, and when he just rushed to him, all the curry that he was eating fell on the author's face. Perhaps, said the air hostess with the most charming smile, but the air hostess did not shout and said, "Perhaps it would be better if you resume your seat." And what did the air hostess say? "Sir, you go and please sit on your seat. I will find the animal and bring it to you. You don't worry, I will find that animal and I will bring it back to you." I returned to my seat. I was craning my neck, trying to follow the hunt, when suddenly I heard from my feet a distressed chitter of recognition and welcome. But when nobody could find him where he was, and the writer was back on his seat, the writer was sitting, trying to follow the hunt. Everybody was afraid. The air hostess also was looking for him. He heard that chittering, means a kind of a noise that they make, and he recognized whose noise it was, from where it was coming. He welcomed it, and Midge bounded on. Bounded on means climbed up quickly. It came back to the writer, because from now it knew that who the author was, and he was the owner. So he came back, and bounded means to climbed quickly, jumped maybe on my knee, and began to nuzzle, Nuzzle. Nuzzle means to rub gently with nose, and he started rubbing his nose to the author, my face and my neck. He started rubbing his nose to the author's face and neck, means he recognized the author. So this is the end of part 3 that we have done in the chapter. We will complete the chapter part 4. Okay, thank you.